it's Michelle, and today I've got for you a quick little mini mat Pilates workout. It's just going to be a short little series. We're going to use the flex band as our prop. I've got a light tension one. We're going to use it to target our arms, our shoulders, some biceps, abdominals, and even a little bit of outer thighs. So let's get to it. So let's come down on our mat. We'll start just kind of waking our shoulders up, getting them primed and ready to move, and then we'll jump right in, okay? So come on down. Feet are going to be flat on your mat, about hip width distance apart, and you can do a few little tuck and tilts back and forth in your pelvis just to kind of see where it's landing today. You want to end up with a small curve beneath your lower back, so you're nice and neutral, and then you're going to grab onto your band about shoulder width apart, maybe even a little bit wider, depending on how much resistance you'd like. Okay, the further apart your hands are on the band, the lighter the tension is going to feel. All right, so wherever you want to choose to have those hands, you're going to feel heavy with your ribs on the mat. Now just take a nice breath in. As you pull out gently on the band, you're just going to raise your arms overhead, and then you can exhale and just return them back up to the ceiling. Good, do that again. You can have an open finger or a closed finger grip, whatever feels more natural. Yeah, so we're just giving a little bit of opening to the underarms while staying connected, leaving the tension onto our band. Yeah, do that a few more times. Feel your tailbone, the bottom of your ribs, your head, nice and heavy down into the floor. All right, now pause with your arms up to the ceiling, and let's just pull our arms out to a T till our pinky fingers almost touch the floor, and then bring them right back up. And then we'll do that again. Adjust your grip if you need to adjust the amount of tension on your band. Yeah, as you exhale, really breathe out through your mouth to connect through those deep abdominal muscles. Yeah, you can imagine that you're blowing out a candle or puffing out through a straw, whatever visual is helpful for you. Okay, now pull out onto the band and pause. Your elbows are hovering just off of the floor. Now just take a few little bend and stretches of your elbows. You're going to inhale and bend, exhale to press away. And that's pretty tricky to leave your elbow at that same distance from the floor as we move our arms. Yeah, so we're getting the triceps involved, keeping the shoulders stable. Do that 2 more times. And then pause with your arms nice and long, and then allow the hands to return up to the ceiling. All right, so hopefully now that we got our shoulders moving a little bit, we're nice and ready to go on to our first little set here. So we're going to take the band, try to get your foot right about in the middle of it. Try to have it be nice and kind of flat, the band on the arch of your foot, and there's less chance of it rolling up on you. Okay, you're going to hold both of the tails of the band in the same hand as the foot that's inside. So for me, I've got my right foot in and I'm holding the band with my right hand. Okay, so now we're still in that neutral spine. Other foot is flat on the floor. Other arm can just be down by your side. All right, so now I have kind of a soft bend in this elbow. Leg is tabletop. Okay, we're going to do 2 things at the same time. We're going to straighten our leg, and we're going to do a bicep curl with this arm, and then we're going to control, come back to where we started. Yeah, exhale to press into the 2 ends of your band. Yeah, so you're really opening the hip, closing the elbow, and then return. Okay, the further this elbow is away from the floor, the more you're going to feel that challenge in the shoulder and in the bicep. Yeah, so if you need to scale it back a little bit, drop your elbow down or even place it on the floor. Okay, we'll do a few more of these just to kind of memorize this pattern. Yeah, you may have to hold closer to the tail if it ends up feeling a little bit too heavy. Okay, now let's pause back at the start. Take your free hand, place it behind your head, and you're going to be laying back on the mat. So now we're going to add flexion. So with that same arm and leg movement, as I exhale, I'm going to flex my thoracic spine up and off, and then I'm going to return on my inhale. Good, do that again. So hopefully we're able to maintain that small little gap between your low back and the floor, even when we round our shoulders up. Yeah, so it's our upper back, our scapula widening apart. It's going to help our spine come up and off. Okay, let's do that 2 more times. Now let's flex up and stay. I'm going to hold my shoulders up off the floor. My straight leg is going to lift to the ceiling, and I'm going to punch my knuckles straight up. Arm extends, and then pull the elbow back down. So I'm lifting and lowering the leg, punching and pulling with the arm. Now the further back I punch my fist, the closer my leg gets to me and the more challenge on the shoulder. So you kind of decide either straight up or even a little bit back. Yeah. Last one, and then go ahead and return to the mat. Whew. Okay, so let's give that arm and leg a little bit of a rest. We'll do that on the other side, and then we're going to progress it a little bit more. Okay, so other foot on the floor, new hand grabs onto your band on the same side. Okay, widen your collarbones, take a breath in to get ready, and then we're going to breathe out, fist and heel go in two opposite directions, and then return. Yeah, so kind of start finding where you'd like to have that elbow in space. Yeah, feel nice and heavy on that foot that's on the floor. That's going to help keep your pelvis nice and grounded. Yeah, let's do that a couple more times, and then we're going to add in our flexion. Of course, all these extra add-ins are totally optional, just if you want to increase the challenge. If this is working for you, feel free to stay here. So now, free hand behind the head. Exhale, you're going to flex up and forward, and then release and lower. Yeah, you may find that when your shoulders come off, you may have to adjust the height of that elbow accordingly. That's it. Good. You want to be able to just barely see this elbow in the corner of your vision. Okay, now let's curl up and stay. We'll do our lift and lower and our punch and pull. Inhale, exhale. Try not to let the spine move, just the shoulder, elbow, and hip. Last one, and then lay yourself on down. Okay, so now that's kind of the base level of this exercise, and then we're going to start building on it a little bit. Yeah, it's going to change up the stability challenge and some of the load, okay, as well as coordination. So if any of these next layers we do are feeling a little bit too much, let's take it back a step and repeat. Okay, so we're going to take the hand right behind the head. Our free leg this time is going to be off the floor. So I have two legs in tabletop. Inhale to get ready. So already there's a little bit more demand on the abdominals, holding up both our legs. So as I exhale, that banded leg is going to press. We're doing the exact same arm and leg action that we've got in our body so well. Yeah, so that we've kind of got down by now. And now we're adding more things to think about with this other leg. Good. If you need to, you can let the knee come closer to you. That would be a modification to make it a little bit less demanding. Yeah. You can tip the thigh further from you to have the opposite effect for more challenge. All right, let's do that two more times. Now this time, when I lift and lower this leg and punch to the ceiling, I'm also going to scissor my other leg. So we reach this foot up to the sky. Now they pass by each other. I drop the free leg, lift the banded leg, and then I switch. Arm is doing that same punching action. You could place the head down on the mat if you need to. That almost makes it harder in some ways on your lower abdominals, but that's always a choice you can make. Last two. Last one, and then bring yourself on down. Okay, so now let's try the other side. So starting just getting used to having this leg off, and then we'll go into our scissors. All right, hand behind the head, feel a gentle drawing down of your ribs. Exhale, press that banded leg forward, and then return. So wherever you set up this tabletop leg, we want to try to kind of just leave it where it is. We don't want it moving all around. That might be a sign that we're not quite as stable through this region as we could be if that leg is moving. Okay, let's do two more here. Oh, and I'm lifting and lowering. Whoops, I was just staying up, lifting and lowering. Now hold here. Free leg reaches up, and then we scissor legs past each other. Inhale, switch. Press, good. Try not to let your shoulder blades get pulled back to the floor. Two, last one, and then bring yourself on down. Okay, so we've got one more layer, if you can believe it, to try from here. So now it's going to be a bit of a double leg stretch, yeah, included with this arm and leg movement. So Back to tabletop with both legs. This time you're going to squeeze your ankles and knees together so they stay connected. So it's almost like you've got one leg instead of two. So here we go. Take a breath in. Now both legs are going to straighten because my ankles are connected together. So we're going to flex forward, lengthen through the legs, pull with that arm, and then release back to the mat. Yeah. Now you've got a good view of your legs. The thing about having the band on just one foot, your leg is going to kind of want to get pulled off to the side. So make sure, kind of check with your eyes that you're keeping those ankles right on center. So good. 2 more times. Exhale as low as you can stay stable through your spine. That's how low you can send the legs. Now pause here. Both legs are going to lift as we punch and drop back down. Lift, trying not to smash your low back into the mat. Do that 2 more times. Keep those inner thighs connected. Last one. And then come all the way to the mat. Very nice. All right, other leg, and then this will be it. That's the last thing we have to add to this set, okay? So here we go. Ankles connected, getting ready with the hand behind. Both legs are reaching, and then returning. Exhale, and then lower down. Good, reach, and then lower. Elbow nice and high, away from those ribs if we can. 2 more. Okay, here we go. Lifting and lowering. That's super tricky to hinge both those hips without smashing down through the low back. Good. Do that 3 more times. Punch that fist up and back. 2. Last one. And then go ahead and bring yourself all the way down. All right, you guys. Come on up to sitting. We're going to finish with one last little thing to see us off. So we're going to go make sure your band kind of unrolls if it rolled up on itself. So we're going to do a little rolling like a ball series, which feels really nice on the spine. It's almost like a little massage as we roll down the mat. Okay, but since we've got our band, we're going to use it. So put your feet together, both of them inside the band, and then you're going to crisscross the tails of your band so that you're holding opposite sides. Kind of secures your feet in there a little better. So if you can see, I've got like a crisscross action going across my shins with the band, all right? Now make sure you have a lot of your mat behind you so you don't go rolling off to the floor. So you can put as much tension on the band as you'd like, kind of play around with it. Elbows are soft, yeah? The more tense your band is, the more help your hip flexors are gonna have to hold your legs up, okay? But it also changes it for the shoulders too. So just kind of see how you like that. Elbows are off of your body, bent, knees are together. Okay, I'm tucked under through my spine. Now, instead of tossing our head back to roll to the mat, think of just sectioning your belly button back towards your spine. And that should be enough to tip you up onto your shoulder blades. And then you're going to exhale, come up and try to balance. Yeah? So ideally, your band is just going to stay the same length. We don't want to see it stretching and shortening. We want to just leave it with that equal tension on the entire time. Yeah, the knees stay the same distance away from the chest, hopefully. Yeah, getting right up onto our shoulder blades. We shouldn't feel like we're smashing our head or our chest into our chin. We want to stay nice and open. Okay, now let's come up and pause. I want you to take your feet and your knees and separate them. So you're going to push your outer edges of the feet into the band, bring them back together, and then go back into one of your rolls. And then up. Find your balance, separate and return. Draw the abdominals back and then stack. Do that a few more times. So the shape of the spine is really staying the same the entire time. Last one. We're going to find ourselves up at the top and balance and just do 10 reps of that open and close. Arms stay strong. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then go ahead and rest your feet down. Okay, so kind of different. Adding the band gives a little challenge of knowing exactly where our legs are. So now we're going to repeat that one more time, but the legs are going to be straight. So this is a little more like open leg rocker, yeah, except we are going to have our feet together until we do those little separations. Okay, so send the legs up tall, keep the ankles together. If you wanted to separate them a little bit, you would be welcome to. I'm gonna leave mine together just for simplicity's sake. So my tailbone is slightly tucked. Here we go, draw the abdominals back. Now, with this length of our legs, it's gonna kind of pull you a little bit harder to the floor and then feel slightly more challenging to find your balance, yeah? So it's a different length of lever, so just start kind of feeling that out, yeah? And then stack. Oh, but the mechanics of what your spine is doing is the same. Yeah, it's just a little bit more demand to hold those legs up. All right, if it's not working for you, go back to the bent leg version. Now let's pause and hold. We're gonna separate the feet one time, out and in, and then roll back onto our shoulder blades, back and forth. Again, find your balance. Take your time. If it's taking you an extra second, to find your balance, no big deal. If your feet have to touch the mat before you do that open and close, totally fine. Let's do that 2 more times. Then next time we stack up on our sits bones, we're gonna do those 10, if I can make it there, 10 open and closes of the feet. Ready? 10, 9, try not to let that tension make its way to your neck. 6, 5, 4, 3, wide chest, 2, 1, and then set your feet on the mat. Oh my goodness, so good. All right, take the band off of your feet. Let's take one little cool down stretch together, and then we will be done with our little mini workout for the day. Okay, so have your legs sitting mermaid style, so kind of an S shape. So one leg in front, one leg crossed behind. If that's not comfortable, take one leg to the side or even just sit crisscross. Okay, so hopefully this S shape, if that works for you, you're gonna sit here, reach one arm and place it on the floor. So whichever arm is pointing away from where my feet are, other arm is gonna open to the side. And then I'm just gonna take a nice side bend up and over. Maybe your elbow can touch the floor, and then you're gonna come right back up tall. Do that again. Inhale as you lift the arm, slide the hands out, and then settle into as deep of a side bend as you can. Good. Let's do that 1 or 2 more times. Yeah, we definitely worked our hip flexors and our outer thighs, so this might give you a little bit of a stretch through that top hip. Good. All right, now I want you to come up and just put some weight on this bottom hand. Okay, so you might be leaning over a little bit. Now when we side bend, leave that hand where it is, and I just want you to lift your hips off of the floor, press them forward. Now here's where you're really gonna get a good stretch. For that hip flexor, all up through that side body, and then come on down. Let's do that 2 more times. Yeah, just breathing however helps you feel these nice stretches. Just try to take some nice full breaths. Kind of a good way to end a workout is to kind of reconnect to your breath. Find where it's landed after we've gotten our body moving. Now let's switch. Grab your ankle or the floor, whatever you can reach, and just take an opposite stretch the other way. Okay, and then we'll do the other side. So just switch, take your new leg in front, your new leg crossed behind. You could also sit up on a pillow, towel, yoga block, or something to boost your hips if that makes this position more comfortable. So here we go. Inhale, we start to reach over. Find your stretch, soften your elbow, and then come all the way back up. Good, a few more times, really easing yourself into that stretch. So using those muscles all the way over. Good, 2 more times. Try to make that space between your rib and hip a little more open. Good, last time. All right, now come up, place some weight on that hand. As you side bend, you're gonna press forward, kind of post up on your shins. That stretch is gonna be a little deeper here, and then place back down. Good, 2 more times. Press this shoulder away from you. Set that lat and scap nice and strong, and then come down. Last time, lift up to go over. Hips press you forward. And then come on down and just take an oppositional stretch the other way, grabbing whatever you can, your knee, your shin, the floor. All right, you guys, we are done. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. If you know of somebody who would enjoy this workout, please pass it on to them. And I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.